Hey you guys, so pop medical quiz. Which drug can increase your energy, help balance your hormones, help you lose weight, help boost your immune system, and help you live longer? The drug is sleep. This is not a joke. I am not trying to hype you up in any form or fashion, but it blows my mind how some of the most simplest things that we have at our disposal, which are free, can have the biggest impact on our overall health. It's not a drug, it's not a supplement, it's not a pill, it's not surgery. It is purely just sleep. The problem is that most people don't recognize how important sleep is to how they feel, look, and age, or they recognize that it's important, but don't know that there's anything they can do to improve the quality of their sleep. And they just maybe think that sleep is just something that happens naturally. You shouldn't have to do anything to help enhance your sleep. But if you aren't sleeping well, or if you're not sure if you're getting a good night's sleep and you're having chronic issues or symptoms, difficulty losing weight, having problems remembering things, having low energy, developing diabetes or cancer or anything, and your sleep is of question, then we absolutely need to focus in on your sleep. So let's talk a little bit about how you can improve your sleep. Now, there are lots of tricks and tips out there, but I will tell you this, as I will tell you with all things. Doesn't matter what recommendation I give you, you have to personalize it for yourself. So what works for me may not work for you, but also you don't know if it's going to work for you until you've tried it consistently. So a lot of the tools that I'm going to suggest may seem really simple, but what I found is that most people have tried maybe some of the things I recommend in sporadically. They may have tried it one night, and if it didn't work, they gave up completely. Or they don't think that there's a huge impact on doing one behavior and sleep. So they don't make the correlation between the two, and then they just don't do it. But what I would suggest is that over the course of this video, you get a sheet of paper and we come up with a sleep routine for you that you will commit to for, let's say, 2 weeks. And then if that doesn't work, then we create a new sleep routine. So that's how this works. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the power of sleep as well as things you can do. So how do you know if you're actually getting a good night's sleep? So there are a couple of things you can, kind of pay attention to. What time are you going to bed? So ideally, you'd like to be in bed before 10 p.m. I know this is super hard for a lot of people, but the reality is that your brain does a lot of its work that it's going to do in the first 2 hours of sleep before midnight. Your body knows when you're going to bed after midnight, and you may not get as good of a deep sleep as you would as if you went to bed earlier. So number one, if you're not sleeping before 10, then that's something you should definitely shoot for. You're not falling asleep within 15 minutes, right? So if you're in bed and you're still staring at the wall 30 minutes later, then that is a sign that you're not getting high quality sleep. If you're not sleeping 7 to 9 hours, even if you wake up in the morning and you feel rested after getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, that doesn't mean that it's helping your body any. And really, for you to get a full deep sleep, you need to be able to sleep at least 7 hours. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, that would also be very disruptive to your sleep. And people wake up for lots of reasons. One thing that I oftentimes hear people say is that they get up to pee. And the reality is that the majority of people aren't actually getting up to pee. Their body is waking up for some reason. Maybe they're having a hot flash, maybe it's too hot in their room, maybe they have sleep apnea and they stop breathing in the middle of the night, but they're typically waking up for some other reason. And once they're up, they're like, oh, I need to go pee. And so people confuse those two. But then some people do actually get up to go pee because they drank too much liquid close to bedtime. So again, these are really things that require you to sort of tease apart, but you really want to try to get a full night's sleep without waking up in the middle of the night. And if you do wake up, the goal is to go right back to sleep, not to, linger. And then if you don't feel rested when you wake up, this is another big sign that you're not getting high quality sleep. So you want to make sure that if you are getting 7 hours or 9 hours of sleep and then you wake up still feeling groggy, that may be a sign that something is off. And so you may need some additional workup with a functional medicine or integrative medicine doctor, or even a conventional doctor, or it may be just some simple habit tweaks can help with that. And then if you're a person who absolutely requires like a stimulant like caffeine to stay awake, this also may be a sign that you're not getting high quality sleep. So if any of these boxes are checked off for you, then you may want to consider reevaluating your sleep routine. So let's talk about some of the things that may be interrupting your sleep or causing you not to have a good night's sleep. Now, there's a large, long list of these, but I'm going to give you some of my top. So one thing that I see for a lot of people is people don't plan to sleep for 7 to 9 hours. Right? They go to sleep when they go to sleep and they wake up when they have to wake up, and not really giving any mind to like how many hours of sleep that they're actually attempting to get. So if you know you have to get up every day at 6 a.m., then you need to plan to go to sleep by 10, right? So that you can ensure that you're going to get that 8 hours of sleep. And even before that. The other thing that I see a lot of people not doing is winding down. So just like with a kid, you know, when you're trying to get your kid to go to sleep, we like do a bath and there might be story time and, you know, a bunch of other things that kind of make it soothing to transition from the go, go, go of the day to the ease and calm of the night. Well, just because you're an adult does not mean you don't also need that transition. So really thinking about a sleep routine that helps you wind down. And if your sleep routine has anything to do with bright lights, like your phone or your TV or your computer, that can throw off the hormones in your brain and cause you to be up all night and you're sitting there wondering why you can't sleep. It's because you're told your body that it's daytime, all those lights in your face. So really thinking about what you can be doing to optimize that sleep routine, dimming the lights, having some tea, reading a book, but absolutely not just expecting to go from, you know, a Zoom call at 9:15 and expect to be asleep by 9:30. Now, if you're one of those lucky people where that happens, then great. But if you're still having some of those other symptoms that we talked about before, then it may not be so great. So the other thing I see oftentimes is caffeine lovers, right? So if you're drinking caffeine well into the day, again, this is going to vary from person to person. Some people metabolize caffeine really quickly and they can get it out of their system by the time it's time to go to bed, while others, like myself, we metabolize caffeine really slowly. So if I have any caffeine after 10 a.m., it may interrupt my sleep later on. In addition to caffeine as a stimulant, also alcohol is a stimulant. So a lot of people will have a drink at night, and it may help them ease off to sleep. But for a lot of people, they don't get well-rested sleep when they drink alcohol. Oftentimes they may wake up in the middle of the night. They may have less deep sleep, which is required for restoration, for you to feel restored when you wake up. So if you're a person who enjoys that nightcap, you may want to try to have that nightcap a little bit earlier, or maybe just do away with it altogether, and expect that the nights that you do decide to have a drink, that your sleep may not be the best. And then another thing is sleep aids. So lots of patients take sleep medication to help them sleep. And some people absolutely need them. But these sleep aids can actually disrupt your sleep, your ability to sleep on your own. And so things like Xanax or Ambien, these medications aren't without side effects. And so I do recommend trying to get sleep more naturally. If you have not created a sleep routine, if you haven't done some of the things I suggest in my videos to help you get better sleep, then you may want to try those things and try to wean yourself off of some of these medications, because they can become addictive in the way that you can't fall asleep without them. So there are tons of other tools and tricks and tips I have around sleep, but try some of these first and let me know in the comments if anything works for you.